Democrats may have found their successor to Joe Biden. Remember, folks, they managed to anoint Barack Obama as the next president in just a matter of weeks. They can do it with a little-known governor from Maryland, and I see the signs on the wall now that Governor Wes Moore may be the man they try to replace Joe Biden with. This is the situation right now. Joe Biden, clearly not the man he used to be, not that he ever really was any kind of a man whatsoever, but dementia-ridden president isn't getting him anywhere as he bleeds support from minority groups left and right. Enter Wes Moore, who yesterday did something designed to resurrect the Democrat Party. He pardoned 175,000 criminals. This is him announcing that yesterday.
I will pardon over 175,000 convictions. We know that legalization does not turn back the clock on decades of harm that was caused by this war on drugs. It doesn't erase the fact that black Marylanders were 3 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis than white Marylanders before legalization. We cannot celebrate the benefits of legalization if we do not address the consequences of criminalization.
Folks, this is just what the Democrats need. Pardon a bunch of blacks and Hispanics for marijuana use and march out a very handsome, well-spoken, young black man who served in the United States military, has a master's from Oxford, went through his own little set of problems as a kid, but turned his life around after his parents sent him to military school. He is the poster boy for what the Democrat Party actually needs, and truthfully, he seems like a likable guy. Now, his politics are all off the rails, but he's likable, unlike Joe Biden, and certainly unlike Kamala Harris. I mean, Kamala Harris is Miss Lock a Brother Up when she was in California. He's doing the exact opposite here to try to leapfrog her as they move into this. So not only does he announce this mass pardoning of marijuana users and possessors, but he goes on Fox News, of all places, and then actually sounds like a rhino, a Republican in name only at times. Now, he's a Democrat, but listen to him.
But no one's been worse at the border than the president. He's got this current president. No one's been worse than him. You have to agree with that.
This thing is so long-standing, and there's been a lack of courage that we have seen for a long period of time in Washington that has allowed this to take place. That's allowed our states to then, and the people of our states who we protect, and there's nothing I take more seriously than public safety, but they're allowing people in my state to become victims because of a long-standing inaction that we continue to see across Congress, and we've got to move on this.
Now, wait a second. He's saying things the American people want to hear. Now, we know they're most likely all lies because they're coming from a Democrat, but the Democrats know they've got to resurrect this border situation. And the reason they can resurrect it now, if they really wanted to, is because maybe, just maybe, they've got all the voters they need. 13 million of them have come in. You know, you can get driver's licenses in states like California, Colorado, and so many other states by just signing up. You don't even have to show your citizenship status, green card status, nothing. They give illegals driver's licenses, and guess what happens? You get to register to vote when you get your driver's license. So maybe they have enough votes after 3 years of an open border and 13 million illegals flooding this nation. So he says things that I've been saying for years, that this has been a problem from both Republicans and Democrats up until 4 years ago when President Trump entered the scene. And President Trump virtually fixed our immigration problem. Was it perfect? No, not by a long shot. But it had been better than it ever was before. He had literally had this nation on track to shutting down this country. No more leave the light on for you for illegals to come on through. So President Trump has a track record. This guy doesn't. But Democrats may just bet the farm on him. And he may be a well-spoken guy, maybe real smart with a master's from Oxford. But he's no poker player, folks. I want to play poker with Wes Moore because his poker face here when he's asked, what about you as a replacement for Joe Biden? Look at the smirk on this guy's face. He wants it to come. Roll it.
What about if your name was offered as a possible replacement? Should there something happen at the convention? How would you feel about that? Do you think you're ready?
I think that President Biden is not just the nominee. President Biden is the best candidate for the presidency, and it's the reason I'm supporting him, and the reason that I look forward to engaging all throughout the campaign season to get him reelected.
Folks, look at that smile. Look at that smirk. He can't wait for it. He's itching for this to happen. Who, me? He says. This is the greatest moment of his life that this may happen to him. And I do believe the Democrats are looking at him. Gavin Newsom's out. Gavin Newsom, people despise this guy. He's so slick. He's disgusting to listen to. He's ruined California. Kamala Harris isn't going to work. And I'm sure maybe, just maybe, Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, has something out for Joe Biden. Because remember, Joe Biden laid this racist comment on Wes Moore.
And you got a hell of a new governor in Wes Moore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looks like he can still play. He got some guns on him.
The boy looks like he can play? How many stereotypes are there? One, he called a black man boy, not good, racist Joe Biden, the most racist president I think we may have ever had in the history of America. And two, he goes down the stereotype of a strong black guy must be an athlete. I don't even know if the guy played football. I really don't. It wasn't anywhere in his Wikipedia page or his bio I saw anywhere. I know he was in the United States military. The guy is in good shape. But Joe Biden calls him boy. And Kamala Harris is definitely out. People don't like her. She can't speak. She's almost worse at nonsense gobbledygook than Joe Biden is. Here's a little taste of that.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
Of course, we took that from social media, as only social media can do, but unburdened by the passage of time, what can be, this, that. She's lost, just like Joe Biden's lost, having to be corralled over and over again. But now, apparently, according to Breitbart, a task force has been made to counteract, quote, cheap fakes. Cheap fakes are those videos that you see on the screen of Joe Biden wandering around, freezing on stage, shaking hands with a ghost, all of the things that we see, all of it has a real problem for Democrats. Everybody sees it, including President Trump.
Because if you look at the Hispanic population, if you look at the black population, they're voting for Trump. They're voting for Trump. You, look at you.
Again, folks, no task force is going to counteract this kind of stuff. Literally, shaking hands with a ghost. Literally, ooh, something shiny on the horizon. Frozen on the stage, as you see there, for an audience clapping, where his buddy Barack Obama, who I don't think is really his buddy, has to lead him off stage, falling asleep. All of that is damning. There's nothing fake about these videos. They're not selectively edited. Look at them, frozen in time. That is not a cheap fake. The only thing fake in here is Joe Biden.